Three, two,
What's up, everybody?
one.
It is your girl Tree Chanel. I'm checking in from Black Atmosphere and Company's mental health space. Oh, I know. Get over the hump day. But look at you. You're getting through it. You're showing up. I know your boss has been working your last nerve. Your kids and drove you crazy. But yo, you're making it through. So push through and finish strong this week. So I want to say thank you always, guys, because we can't do this without you. You have been really showing up, literally. That was last week's episode. And once again, you guys sent that one through the roof, the highest viewing episode thus far, or listened to, I should say. Because you know what I'm talking about. We ain't got the video yet, but it's coming. Uh, so turn that bell green. Be sure to follow us on all streaming platforms. If you are in your car, please drive safely. If you are at home, grab your healthy snacks. Yep, popcorn, get remote. If you're cooking dinner, you know what to do. And grab that wine and tuck the kids away. So we're about to get into it. We have a special guest. Her name is Gabrielle Pickens, and she is the founder of Pickens Creative. She's an entrepreneur that is ruling in her world as a visibility coach. That is something that is extremely important in women in the media. So today's topic is elevating your visibility and what that looks like for women. So, with that being said, happy International Women's Day. We're about to get into it with our guest, Miss Gabrielle Pickens. Let's go. What's up, Gabrielle?
Hey, what's going on?
Yes. So, explain to the people who you are, and then we're going to get into our disclaimer, and then we're going to hop right into it.
Awesome. Sounds good. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. It has taken us quite a while to get here, but we are here
Yes.
alive and well. I am Gabrielle, visibility coach, PR professional, all things media. I am here simply to spread the gospel on how important it is to show up, to speak up, and to join the conversation in the media, no matter if you are an influencer, no matter the industry, none of that matters. I'm talking about the truth about visibility of the women tend to hide from themselves and hide behind the shadows of their work, and I am here to empower and encourage you to speak up and speak out and let your brilliance be known.
Love it. So, today's topic, with that being said, I think it's fair to say we're going to create visibility in the business for women. It's Women's History Month. So we gotta create that and what that looks like. And for us to really show up for each other. So with that said, we're about to get into this disclaimer and we're gonna jump into it. Let's go. This disclaimer is brought to you by Black Atmosphere and Company. We are a safe space for entrepreneurs to speak about social issues that may affect their mental health. We are simply here to help our community and business and the economical structure. We have to start from the roots of our problem to find better solutions. Black Atmosphere and Company's 8 Pillars of Life is designed to help our members and listeners get through these issues together. So we are not a mental health facility, healthcare provider. We are entrepreneurs helping one another in our journeys. Today's topic is about creating visibility in the workspace. How do you feel, Gabrielle, we need to be creating visibility for women and men in media, but more importantly, women, because what is only like 1% or 2% of women that receive visibility in the media?
Yeah, so not quite 1%, but so the
Wow.
study, not quite 1%. So the studies that I've seen have pointed me to between 20 and 25% of all media sources are women. And so what that means is the rest of the 75%, the rest of the 80% are men. And so when we think about this on a broader perspective, it's kind of like, okay, so if 25% of all media sources are men, how many of those women are minority voices? And then trickle it down to how many of those sources are Black women, right? And so we can look up any survey. You can Google any survey within the past 2 years, especially since the pandemic. Black women have consistently been the starting new businesses. We have consistently built the most websites in the past couple of years. I came across that statistic the other day, and I found that to be quite interesting. And so it's not like we don't have the ideas, we don't have the visions, or we don't have the entrepreneurial bug. We do. And so, as I've been doing this work for a couple of years, I'm no veteran in the industry. I'm fairly new. And I like to mention that because, a lot of times that's one of the issues, right? You haven't been in long enough, so you don't have anything valuable to say, which is
Ooh.
it's just not true, right? You have the knowledge that you have at your stage, and
Yep.
somebody
Yep.
who has not right. So say you got 1 month in, somebody has 1 day in, and so they need to hear what you have learned in the last 30 days, right?
Come on. Yep.
You know,
That's true.
we have to stop. We have to reconsider and reframe what it means to just um, to give away information. It's this transfer of information. There is no age. Now, there is some skepticism on if your experience is truly something that is valuable, that can move the needle in somebody else's journey, but let them be the deciding factor on whether or not your information is valuable. You have to, we have to just understand that at every stage of development, at every stage of entrepreneurship, and every stage of this life's journey, there is something to be said about it. There is something to be dissected. There is something to be um, understood or discussed. And so we all have an opportunity. We all have something valuable to say. We have to first acknowledge, that what we say matters, right? Um,
Yep.
and our experience matters, even if you've only been in the business for a year, or even if you've only been in your job for a year, your industry, no matter, like I said, what it is that you do, a doctor, nurse, um, nurse practitioner or pilot, or, truly any industry at any level, somebody is looking, somebody is doing some research, somebody is seeking your
Guidance. Yep.
yes, and it's just important for us to share that stuff.
It is. And it's so great that you mentioned that about no matter when you have started, you still have some type of experience. So even if it's 30 days, that's 30 days of research that you have
Mhm.
done and you have learned, and someone else may have not even done that research. So
Yep.
it's always important to share notes when you are starting something,
Mhm.
and when you come to the table and have a think tank, ladies. So don't be afraid to just like go to the table with your ideas with someone else and see how, hey, how can I help you grow what you're trying to grow? And don't worry about the money, because see, when people put the forefront in money when you first start, you will lose people, because we're not saying cheat yourself. No, you need experience, but you're not going to go on a job and say, well, I can't get paid because I don't have the experience. No, you're going to go in and you're going to say, okay, I need my training. So you have to look at it at least with your
Right.
training.
Yeah.
And when you get your training, then you can say, okay, well, now I feel comfortable. I can charge this set base for my clientele, because I don't want to say, yeah, I want to charge you $3,000, and you're not even giving $3,000 worth of work or information for them to obtain and to start their business. So that's what we do at Black Atmosphere Company. We help build visibility into companies that are just starting up. So they may not know how to do a business account, They need that. You see, so you can create your business credit. So there are so many ways that we can help each other and we can exchange information. So I want everybody listening to this, of course, you're going to get paid for it. But some people have to put in 10,000 hours into their craft to really master it and to really perfect it, to really build out systems. So don't be afraid,
Mhm.
because what you said is a very valid point and it's necessary. So now with you, Ms. Gabrielle, so let them know about what it is that Gabrielle Pickens does.
What we do is really help executive leaders and small business entrepreneurs, small business bosses to elevate and up level their PR game. And
Yes.
so what that looks like is sometimes it's ghostwriting articles, sometimes it's submitting applications for various awards or speaking engagements, sometimes it's traditional media pitching, sometimes it's press release writing. So there are various ways um, that I specifically engage with my clients. And for me, some of my clients in, like, for example, my one-on-one coaching, very intensive, long-term relationships and investment. But what you receive in return is a little bit more than a media placement, right? You receive a training on how to truly extract news from your brand, no matter what time of the year it is, no matter what it is that you're working on. How do you look at the news? How do you understand the news? What are news determinants? How do you decide if something is actually newsworthy? And so I go through all of this with my clients and really just try to help them understand, like, okay, what are we working with and where are you in life?
Okay.
Right? So that personal aspect I really do, and my clients love, because I'm a part of their team. I'm not just some external PR, um,
Yes.
PR company just randomly sending you press releases. Like, no, like, you know
Okay, we in
me.
here.
Yeah, we are in here. I'm a part of the team. How's your mama doing? And
Yes.
because
We going on.
seriously.
You feel we getting to know each other. I love
Right.
that. And that's what we're creating. We're creating a relationship. That's why I thank you for showing up. I had a problem where my voice wasn't being heard. Like a lot of my ideas was being taken in the industry. People weren't giving me my credit in the media that needed to happen. So
Yep.
I stepped back to actually know how to build, because I said I couldn't keep getting my hard work being taken from me and discredited as a black woman when I know that you just made millions off of me,
Mm,
you know? And here I am. I was struggling, damn near, homeless one point in time. And, like it was so crazy just to think, like, wow, is this how it really goes?
right.
They say you got to pay your dues, but nah, it's a difference.
No,
You
no,
feel me? Like,
no,
nah, I'm
no,
like,
no,
nah,
no.
that's total bullshit. We curse on here, like, no, we keep it a buck. Like, nah, that's some bullshit. Like, okay. I was like, let me go get my shit together before I fuck somebody up. You feel me? Like,
Right.
and because we need to take ourselves serious. I take
Yes.
my things very serious. Anything that I put out, I take it very seriously. I don't just put out anything. It's at the level of what I can do. But when you bring in more people that have better expertise and that has been there, done that, you create a better brand. So, ladies and gentlemen, do not be afraid to bring in the people that you need to help you take your company to the next level, is what I'm going to say. Okay? Because it is so necessary for your growth. Once you get past that 10,000 hours or whatever, you feel like, okay, I need to go to the next level. That's when you have to start looking to build your team. You know what I'm saying? You cannot do anything without a team. So, with that being said, um, Ms. Pickens, what do you feel like? When is the perfect time for someone to begin to bring in a PR rep for their brand? For them to grow. When is a good time for them to seek out that?
Great question. So I think there are a few things that you should consider. I think we first need to again remember to what's the point? What's the news? With the root word being new, right? New. What's
Okay.
new? Is there a new story? Is there a new angle? Is there a new update, product launch, a new hire, a new fire, a new patent, a new trademark, event, a major development, funding, right? So, what happened? That's the
Come
first
on.
thing we need to
Okay.
discover what happened, right? And that could be anything. It doesn't matter where you are in the journey, right? Because you could be building PR for a product that has not even launched yet. You could be doing a PR campaign for a crowdfunding campaign, right? So that goes hand in hand with this. It's an integrated marketing strategy. So PR is a part of a system. It's not the end all be all. It's not um PR is not going to make you money
Come
like
on.
directly. You know what I'm saying? It's
Okay.
not like you in Vogue today and then
Okay.
Beyonce's about to call you. Now, hey, it could happen.
But it's gonna
I don't
create
know
future.
Beyonce. Listen, whoever's listening to this, I don't know Beyonce. Please don't. I don't know. I don't know her. So when people, just a sidetrack, when people's like, yeah, I do PR, I'm a publicist. You know, I even hate saying it sometimes, honestly, because the next question is like, well, who you know? And it's like, girl,
Oh my God.
honey,
That's annoying.
I
That
know
is
me. I know me. That's all
annoying.
I know. You
That's
know, like
annoying.
who I know doesn't mean anything about what I can do.
No.
That has nothing. It's not they're not interrelated in that way, right?
No. At all.
Romanticized. That's a romanticized idea of what PR is. This kind of glamorous, like
Yes.
cool. It's like, girl, email. Like I can send an email to anybody. Like,
Yeah.
let's get real. But just back to that question. So first we have to decide, what the news is, and again, that could be at
That's
any
true.
stage of your business. And then the other thing I would consider is what else do you have to support PR? Again, this is a part of an integrated marketing strategy, right? So it doesn't stand alone. So what else are you doing besides bringing me on to build this thing up, right? So I ask my clients a lot of the times before we decide that we're actually going to work together. Okay, so how much money do you make? How
Hmm.
what's your business model? What is your marketing strategy? Because marketing and PR, they're cousins, but they're not
Okay.
the same.
Them cousins. Okay. Okay.
But
Straight
they're not
up.
the same, right?
Yeah.
A marketer, I like to give this example, right? So say you have a sunscreen that you're about to march or that you're about to launch into the market, right?
Hmm.
So the marketer is going to come in and like, okay, Gabby, so we did some research and we found that people love your products when they travel. So you need this 5-ounce bottle needs to be a 3-ounce bottle so that, it's a product market fit. It
Come
fits
on.
right into the market, right? These
Come
women,
on.
they travel and they need the 3-ounce bottle. That's why we're not selling, because we're selling it too big for them right now. They need the 3-ounce first. Okay, fantastic. And then the publicist comes in and say, this is the only sunscreen you will ever need for your next trip to Bora Bora.
That's
That's what we do.
yes. Yes.
So,
Uh,
how else are you selling, sis? Like, is it just me? Are you putting it all on me?
come on.
Like now sometimes that works because like say for instance you're selling pies, and I heard this great example. I don't know where I heard this, but I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So say for instance they said if you're selling pies and you go on QVC. Now that's a good media placement right there. You go on QVC, you said
Okay.
they got that 20,
Baby, they about to spin.
right,
Okay.
and you sold 10,000 pies, right? But
Baby.
so now the orders start coming in, but you don't have the proper systems. I'm sorry. I'm outside. I'm in
It's
Chicago,
okay.
y'all. Hey, this is crazy out here in these streets. So, so so you're on QVC. You sell 10,000 pies, but you don't have the process, the systems, the logistics to deliver 10,000 pies. So now
Come
that
on.
positive PR turns into negative PR because you wasn't
Ooh.
ready.
Oh, this is what we do. Yes, systems. You have to have every system in place before you want to get to that marketing
Yes.
place for building visibility. You can, create a buzz, but when you really want to get into it and go to that corporate level, you have to know your numbers. If you do not know your numbers on your financials, profit and loss, how are you going to 10 times this? We have a budget calendar for Black Atmosphere and Company because we believe it's important for people to know how to get to those numbers, how to set up your brand, how to do all those things. I currently am not, you know, taking public clients or anything like that because I'm more on a healing journey right now for myself, but
Yes.
I can still share that information with you guys. You see what I'm saying? They
Right.
be really sometimes ignoring the whole true plug because you don't really know who I know that can help you build your resources on how to create a pitch deck, how to create equity into your company, into if you don't have like say thousands of dollars to bring in employees, how do you set up where they can
Mhm.
get equity into the company so when you start bringing in funds they can receive equity into your company? Like there are so many strategies that we can be doing as not just women, as a whole community in our ecosystem. So it really starts at the table. That's the foundation when because I know when me and you come sit at this table because we're gonna have that conversation. And you feel me? We're gonna have that conversation. We gotta know, okay, this is what we can do, and this is how we can, like turn the wheel and hit that needle and so it can keep moving because I'm a fashion designer. That's how I got started in this industry. I auditioned for Janet Jackson in a dance
Wow.
show. Girl, yes,
Wow.
yes, let me I
Yes.
girl, I
Yes.
auditioned for Janet Jackson in this TV series that was going to be on MTV as a triple threat because at the time I was singing, dancing, and acting, and this was my first freaking audition, and I landed the role, but she ended up canceling. So the producers was like, "Yo, we got to put this girl somewhere." So they end up calling me and saying, "I want you to audition for this show in Oxygen, called Dance Your Ass Off." So they flew me out to LA, and I did my audition, killed it to Missy Elliott's Get Your Freak On. And then bam, I went back to the crib. About a month later, they said, "Yo, you're in, so we're gonna fly you out to LA and the rest is history." You see what I'm saying? Had I had that proper visibility right then and there in that plan,
Mm.
I feel like it could have taken me where I needed to go. But see, I didn't even know any of this. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So those 10, 12 years, I was learning how to do it myself because nobody in my family was, in that light, in
Right.
that
Right. Right.
realm
Right.
that
Right.
has
Right.
went that far, you know what I'm saying, in the industry and made it on national TV a first round. Like, okay, so you got talent. You definitely have that because automatically you was locked in. So people like you, women like you are very important to women like myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I want people to really look and see where you are and be honest with yourself. How was it working with Upwork and creating visibility for women in this space? I think that was super dope.
Yeah, that was such an amazing opportunity, and I'm happy to share. Upwork has been an amazing platform and now turned into a partner for me as I've grown my business. And, you know, the thing about PR, the thing about media, that is not commonly talked about is the relationship building. People say that all the time, but when you
Hmm.
actually break it down in real life, what it means is reading, listening, talking to other creators who are writing the news and truly engaging with their content, not just so when it's time for you to shine, but you have to understand
Yes.
these are people also
Yes.
who are taking their time to go out and interview people, talk to sources, um, you know, really kind of distillate all of these complex ideas and just present something that's worth reading, that's balancing getting clicks too, because that's the world we live in. And so, for me, it really is truly about building relationships and talking to people, like having conversations with people. Like, it's nothing for me to send a message to somebody and say, hey, I came across your work, I came across an article you wrote, or I came across, whatever. Would you like to chat? I'm working on some things, or, what are you working on? It's okay to reach out and state who you are, or it's totally normal and fine to reach out to people and say hello. Um,
Yes.
to congratulate to congratulate them on their work, or to provide support, or to maybe ask a question about it. Um,
That's yes.
and
That's
building a relationship like with a human being. Like,
come on. Not
like,
no robot in the AI bots. Okay. Like
yes,
no, we need to create relationships. And that's how I met you. We were friends on Facebook, but
yeah.
I seen that you were like building on Upwork, and I was like, I end up sharing your story. Like I wasn't looking for anything. I just shared your story on Black Atmosphere, because I think that's very important, and it doesn't cost anything to have that support. And I tell people, why people, oh, it doesn't fall along with my brand. Let me tell you something. You never know where that person is going to go or be. So don't ever sleep on somebody's start. You see what I'm saying?
Oh
People,
yeah.
like, I've had friends that I had to befriend, like leave them alone because they were opportunists. And
Mm,
like, there's nothing wrong with creating opportunity, but if that's your main goal and only reason why you're building these relationships, I don't want it,
yeah.
because you're only looking at what I can do for you. That's
Yeah.
part of it. But what happens when the celebrities not showing up, and you're using that as a tool to bring people in? And
Mm,
you're not really building relationships with the people.
right.
And I had to learn that in my journey in this 12 years span. No, it's more than just that. That's great, but you have to really not throw those things into people's play and say, this is what I can do for you. And then when it doesn't happen, you're you feeling some type of way. No, just create genuine relationships and everything will grow.
Yeah.
So stop doing that,
Absolutely.
being the opportunist, and that's it, that's all. Nothing wrong with creating opportunity and being an opportunist, but don't let that just be, oh, what you can do for me. If you can't do nothing for me and what I need, then I don't need to be friends with you, because no, you may actually miss out on something. And I have seen that when people don't know who you know, because they don't talk about it. They don't put that at the forefront. That I don't put that at the forefront, because I know I've been there, done that. You see what I'm saying? And that's superficial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I really want us to really build the relationships with corporate, and as small business owners going into corporate or to leverage. Don't be afraid to create business partners. So with us, Spotify is actually one of our partners. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it started from an email. They sent me an email and showed me how to grow this thing and how to pitch it to them so it can get in the forefront. So there's things that I have to do. I want to create a studio and then get the camera crew and stuff like that. And then
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's where we're going to really show up visibility.
Mm,
See,
oh
I
yeah.
needed, yeah, I feel like I needed this podcast because I had went through so much mentally in this industry. Because if you do not take care of yourself mentally, it will burn you the fuck out. And where a lot of people don't make it back. You see what I'm saying?
I
So
want to
that's
talk
what.
about, can we delve into that real quick? I wanted to,
Oh yes.
because you mentioned that before, and to wrap up that Upwork thing. So the genuine relationships that I was building with Upwork on
Okay.
Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, like I would always, because I genuinely liked the product. I genuinely liked
Yep.
the platform and the service and how they were empowering entrepreneurs to kind of, like, really go out there and get it. And so I would always like follow them on Twitter or update them on my progress. Like, okay, made AK on Upwork, or, they'll always respond back. And so just this kind of genuine relationship. And then there goes that email in my inbox sliding in.
Yep.
Hi, Gabrielle.
Yep.
We definitely want to get on the phone with you. And so and this was last year. This relationship has been brewing for a year. And so a lot of times people don't know the length of time it takes to accomplish something like this. And
Yeah.
it's really, I tell people all the time, PR is a slow burn, because I'm literally spending my sweet, precious time away from my daughter to get on the phone and talk to people and get to know them and try to find ways to insert your story, my client, into their product, right? So there are conversations that have to take place over time in order to achieve those types of results. And, after I hit the 20K mark on Upwork, they were like, listen, we definitely want to feature you, especially because the industry that you're in, you haven't been doing this for very long. They featured somebody on the platform that made 2 million, right? So it wasn't just me, because I made 20K. It's people on there actually making real money. But
Yep.
I separated myself because I was visible and I wasn't hiding behind the screen. I want people to know.
Yeah.
I want to be bold in my declaration for what it is I'm trying to do. I'm not like, what? Listen, you only get one shot.
Okay.
You have to go for it. I was here. It's okay for me to stand out. It's okay for me to peacock every now and then. It's okay for me to express my choice of expression, right? Like, people like you. Okay, when you see Beyonce, beyond the fact that she's Beyonce, you can tell she's supposed to be doing that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell.
Bread. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you can tell Chris Brown is supposed to be doing that.
Chris Brown. Yes. You just know.
You can tell Denzel is supposed to be doing that.
Yep.
So you have to do what you came to do. You have an assignment. We have to stop playing.
Stop playing with your assignment. Stop playing with your assignment. That is a whole. That's a T-shirt. Please remember it. Stop playing with your assignment, okay? Because we get a borrowed amount of time. I feel like that be my fucking whole anxiety. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm going through this whole process, but that's my process of training. You see what I'm saying? So because I never had formal training or training, so somebody said, you know what? We really like what she's doing. So we got to sit her down. We got to really tune her in to what needs to be happening for her, because she does need assistance. I actually came during the pandemic, I became disabled, like a lot of people don't know that. So you have to create ways where you still able to show up. And I had to revamp my whole business model. You see what I'm saying? My whole everything that I knew, I didn't know anymore.
Listen, no. I need to say something.
Okay.
I need to say this. I just went through a training, and what you just said is exactly what we were talking about this past week.
Really?
Creating businesses with your weaknesses at the forefront or the core. Build a business rooted in your strengths.
Yeah.
Build a business rooted in your strengths, right? If you are a talker, 80% of the
girl,
business,
come on. Hello?
Listen, stop. You better hire a virtual assistant to do everything else.
Yep, that's what happened. I had to get a virtual assistant. People thinking I'm pushing this shit out. Because I know God said, no, ma'am, you got to learn. This is where you learn how to build your community. This is what I'm doing is I need you to learn how to build your community. What's your beginning strategy? What's your exit strategy? Because a lot of us in this space, you know, it's like when we there and then we're gone. Like, no, we want to talk about these things and have these uncomfortable conversations. Cause I can still talk. I told her my legs might not be working, my mind might be off, but guess what? I can still talk my way and begin to reshape my brain. Cause that neuroplasticity, honey, you know, you got to
Come
really
on.
rewire your
Come
brain,
on.
but you can do it.
Come
It takes a
Hey,
lot.
hey. That neuroplasticity, baby. That shit.
Come on. I'm telling them, girl, I'm learning words all the time. I'm learning about the brain, how it's functioning. Like, I'm like, yo, what am I in? Like,
Yes, girl. That's
you gotta go into the space where God wants you to go. You cannot be afraid. You can have fear. You can be fearful, but don't let the fear drive you. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Have courage, have faith. Like I had to stand
Mm-hmm.
on faith. I couldn't rely on nothing else. That fear, I had to let it go, girl, because I was feared like, oh my God, Lord, am I going to really make it through this?
Yeah.
Am I really going to see the day? Am I going to have longevity when I feel like, the gravity's trying to bring me down? So that's why we're in a higher space, because we had to elevate, because everything below us was trying to bring us down.
Yeah.
So that's why Black Atmosphere, we had to create this world, this space, not world, but a ecosystem where we're above the bullshit.
Mm.
We're not above anyone, but we're above those things that people constantly try to bring us down in our dreams, our aspirations, our life. When we begin to change, people don't know how to, take heed to it and, reciprocate that energy, because you're different, because you're training yourself. You have to train yourself. Have to become a warrior. You know, you want to be a general in what you're doing, so you can build up more people like yourself. But you have to learn leadership. I didn't know anything about no damn leadership in you know what I'm saying, in
Right.
this space. But guess what? I had to learn, and I feel like that's what he really wanted me to do. He said, you have a voice. Uplift this voice that you have, because that's really where it begins. And that's really where it begins to show up for yourself. So I didn't want to be on that camera. You feel me? So I was like, I just needed to show up with my voice.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how this podcast became. And one of my girls convinced me to do it, because we were um interviewing people through Tyler Perry, and I was like, well, I don't have a media outlet where we can, like, I can interview him, so I had to create it, and the rest is history. So now we're here,
Mm-hmm.
and now look, I'm interviewing women like yourself, and helping other women. We're gonna keep helping people across that threshold and build them up. We building ourselves up too in development. So I
Oh,
think that's pretty
100%.
dope. That freaking Upwork, you're working with them. And I'm looking forward to, like, actually jumping in on the call. Like, now I'm like, yo, now we want to see what this is really about, because I want to work with women like yourself that has that strength and that's bold, that's not afraid to show up for themselves and their others. So I really
I mean,
appreciate what we
sometimes I
do.
am afraid. Sometimes I am afraid. I want
Okay,
to make
I
sure
love that transparency.
I
Come
want to
on,
make sure we say that, because
come on.
to me, it's scary to put yourself out there in your your inner thoughts, and your
Yes,
vision for the world, or for yourself, or for whatever. But there is something to be said about because at the end of the day, like, what else are you gonna do with it?
come on.
What,
That's
I
true.
mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah,
already there, so you
yeah.
just want to ignore it.
Woo! I could. Oh man. Mm.
You
Don't
spending
ignore
more
it.
you
Come
spending
on.
more energy ignoring it
Yeah.
and actively not doing it
Come on.
than going in the flow and doing what you supposed to be doing, which would be so much easier, and like the flow.
Yes. Stay in the flow. Stay in the flow. Like, keep that momentum. Like how we got this good momentum. I want to keep this momentum with you because I know important how we may not be able to show up every time, but that momentum of just building a relationship, like I love it. Like I love building relationships with people and just getting to know them. So
Yeah.
yes, stay afloat. Don't drown yourself because a lot of people will drown themselves in their dreams. And they will try to drown out those things with fear. So,
Yeah.
and self-doubt. That's
Hmm.
a big one. How would you speak to your clients on getting over self-doubt?
That's such a huge question. I mean, because it goes beyond, the 60 minutes me and my clients are on the
Oh
phone.
no, no. So I want to say, like, for their mental health, you see that, like, we can, like, mentally, how would you say how for them to get over their self-doubt mentally?
I think a lot of it is it's writing down and keeping stock of the things that you've already accomplished. Because a lot of the times the self doubt is rooted in an ulterior universe. Like it's like we doubt ourselves based on this um measuring stick of other people's expectations, right? So
Mm,
if you would just break this measuring stick, then you wouldn't have. It's like when people say, I'm not, it wasn't good enough, or I didn't do good enough. And it's like, by whose standard? Like, why can't this just be a part of your journey? Why can't this just be what it is? Why does it have to be in comparison to something
yes.
else or someone else? Or why can't we just let this be and um find value in this moment and separate it from what's to come or what has already been? Why can't we just call this thing a thing
Come
and
on.
and be present here and judge
Yes.
this based on this, on how we feel right now as we're experiencing this? Why does it have to be some, like I said, in comparison to something that hasn't even happened yet or something that was already was?
Yep.
So a lot of it has to do with perception. A lot of it has to do with
Come on. Come on, push it.
reframing.
Yes, take it there.
Yeah.
That and living in the past.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
a
God.
lot of it. Do not live there. You know what I'm saying? That is what I noticed. Do not live there. I myself had to really, stop living there because I couldn't do the things that I once do. I did, and it used to depress. It was like, well, shit, it still is, but I'm shoring up. But like, I'm
Right.
like,
Right.
man,
Oh, facts. Facts. I know.
like, damn, like I can't just go in my sewing room, my office, and just go create garments for women or men like
Right.
how I want to anymore. I tried to go in my office and I began to have an attack. Like my skin just felt like it was just about to peel off, like just itching. Like
Mm-hmm.
people don't understand why I had to stop working in spaces because my body would not allow me to show up. That's a whole thing. And that's why I had to create visibility in that space and to talk about it because people may not even be aware that that's happening. So that's why I wanted to say that. And you made valid points. So we don't want you to put this perception on what it needs to be about or this false measuring stick that you have
Right.
and not always look to other people and what they're doing. No, listen to your intuition and what God is placing that dream inside of you. And don't compare it to anyone else's. That's what makes you unique. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I see so many people when I was in school, they will always tell us to go find inspiration on the internet. I'm like, I don't need to go do that to create a collection. And my teacher, like, I would get in trouble for that. So I would tell them, my inspiration is within me.
Okay. Why would you listen?
Yeah, it
I'm
was.
saying that
I used to get in
wrong, but
trouble
like,
like for
yeah.
saying shit like that and doing it, and I didn't have these pictures to show them. I said all this comes from within me. I don't need to go look at what someone else has done. And
Yeah.
that's how I operate. I don't need to go look at what everybody else is doing. It comes from within me, my ideas. It starts with everyone. Let it start from your true ideas and your identity. If
And
people
that's
get
what,
so caught up on what everybody else is doing, that's creating, you know, visibility for yourself.
yes,
Like
yes.
authenticity is
Mhm.
so rare now. Everybody's carbon copied.
Girl, that's a whole other episode.
You okay? Yeah.
Girl, a
So, but
mess.
yes, this is how we're creating us women creating space for women in media. So we're showing up and we're creating the foundation. That's a great way to start. So how would you give advice to women that want to start in your shoes as a PR? What advice would you give them on how to break into this industry?
Yeah, well, if you want to be a publicist or any sort of communications professional, one of the main proponents of my success, I really try not to say
Girl, come on. We
corny
gonna
things
shower you with your success, okay?
with my journey thus far. Community. Please go ask somebody. Go get a mentor. My mentor,
Come
shout out
on.
to Rick. Rick, if you're listening to this, I am all about you, Rick. Thank you so much. And this is why Rick and mentors, period. Mentors
Yes.
do not have the same limiting beliefs as you do.
Yep.
Mentors have the benefit of experience and time.
Yep.
Mentors can 10 times your growth rate in a short period of time because
Have done.
they can dismantle so-called obstacles that you think are these boulders so heavy can't move.
Yep.
Those are rocks, pebbles to them.
Yep.
And so you need the benefit of an not an of an overseer, but of somebody who can just see a little bit beyond you.
Yep.
And not to tell you what to do, but just to provide
Yep.
information, to guide you, to give you relevant, valid, important, strategic insight where now you can trust your instinct as an entrepreneur or trust your instinct as a communicator or whatever industry professional to navigate your career as you see fit. One of my clients, she's amazing. She works in the tech industry, but her true passion is career and really freeing women in their career. And she
Yeah.
always says, choose your own adventure. Choose your own career adventure. What do you want to accomplish in your life?
Come on.
And build backwards from there what your career is going to look like. Don't start with
Yes.
your career first in mind. I want to be, I don't know, whatever. you know, it's like start with you in mind first and then
Yep.
build backwards from there, right?
Yep.
Fortune 500 CEO, I want to make $500,000 a year. Why do you want to make $500,000 a year? Why are you itching to get that bonus? Why do you want to get the C-suite? Blah 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 blah. Right. So
Okay.
really just examining these things. And I would, anybody in any industry, but especially in the media and communications industry, because it can be fickle, it can be superficial, it built into it.
Yes.
It's already fickle. It's already a bunch of, actors and characters.
Oh, baby, the characters. That's gonna be my last question. Like, because you just really hit the characters. Like, oh my God, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So what she was pretty much saying was accuracy. We want you to really start backwards. Start with your foundation. Start with your root chakra. We always lead with the root because that's the foundation you are built on.
Hmm.
Start from the bottom, work your way to the top.
Yes,
you
that's
know
beautiful. Hmm.
that's why we always see here we do a lot of energy healing work. And
Mm.
I incorporated that in my company because that's where I was at, and I know there were a lot of other people that were like that, and they just didn't know. So
Mm.
me have being one of the mentors here, and helping people, I've helped so many people. Like, I have testimonies. They will tell you, they're like, yo, she's tough, but she's not like tough like, oh my god. She's just going to really lay it out there. She's not going to sugarcoat it. And and a lot of people sugarcoat stuff
Yeah.
and try to build you this fantasy world and dream. Oh, it's going to be this, and you don't have to do the work. No, you can still have a mentor and still go through those hard times because it's your story, and you have to overcome that. They just foresee you. This is new to me. Like, I've done a lot of things, but like interviewing people and stuff like that, I was like, I could have never seen this for myself, but God did.
Mm.
God did. So hey, we here. So about these characters, how do you huh, how do you deal with the characters in the industry from the real versus the fake? How do you separate that life from your personal life and not take it into your real life? Because a lot of people begin to start living this character that they've created into their real life, and that's not even them.
Yeah, I don't play with people, so
Okay.
it's just the bottom line. That's just the bottom line. Like, you have to come correct when you're talking to me, and that's because I'm coming correct when I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Not. I am not a character, and so
Okay.
I have a real family with real problems and real,
Real.
emotions and real life, awareness. And so I don't even engage with um, those types of situations. Now, not to say that I'm never a part of it, because people are who they are, and so sometimes it does show up in my life, but remain an observer, right? So,
Yep.
I like to say there is a wall between me and the rest of all of you. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, am I happy with myself? At the end of the day, did I honor myself? Did I honor my daughter? Did I honor my family with what I
Come
said
on.
or what I didn't say, or how I said or how I didn't say it? Like, you know, um, you know, you have to come correct. People treat you how you present yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple, and we don't have to put up um with scenes from a movie, because people do try to romanticize life. And
Woo! Oh my God,
yeah.
romanticizing injustice, romanticizing things that this is nothing romantic about this behavior. You feel me? Like, what the fuck? Like, no. I'm about to send this boy up to Inglewood. What would, like, y'all, now you about to bring back that out that South Side girl. All right,
Listen,
all right. Leave me alone. You feel you got
no, seriously though, seriously,
like, yo, we
please.
from Chicago. We're different type of females. People don't understand that Chicago women, even if you're not from here and you're here, you pick up on it because there is a different type of vibe a Chicago woman has.
Yeah,
And people need to understand that. And you need to respect her boundaries. So
listen,
I think it boils down to boundaries of what's fake and what's real. Because
yeah,
everybody has a job to do. It's entertainment. You
yeah.
feel me? So that comes with the job, especially if you're an actor, a singer. They have to play a role. That it comes with the even here. We have our virtual assistant. She is, this what are they called, the emojis. She talks for me. You know, because when I can't, she can, and we're
Hmm.
we're we're incorporating that there where we can have a live. She can lively talk to people. But that's the world that we're living in. But we got to work smarter. We got to work smarter, not harder, in this space. And lastly, how to avoid burnouts in this space, because that's what we have to teach here, and that's what we teach in for our members, how not to create the burnout, how to learn how to delegate tasks. is super important. So, with that being said, I want you to tell the audience how they can reach you and how they can contact you if they want services from you.
Yeah, I had so much fun. This was amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh,
I appreciate
no
you
problem.
creating this space to talk about mental health. I am a huge mental health advocate.
Come on.
And burnout it has happened to me. It probably will again, but it's about that balance. It's about, saying no to things that don't serve you or your business. But as for me, Gabrielle Pickens on all social media, not your average publicist on TikTok. I've been figuring out the TikTok. It's been fun. So please
Yeah.
connect with me on the TikTok, as the young folks say. Um, and yeah, just hit me up, slide in my DM. Like I said, GabriellePickens.com, Gabrielle Pickens on all social media. I am out in the streets. I don't, again, I like to keep things a little separate. So I am all about real connections. So if you really want to get to know me, just hit me up. Don't deduce much from my Instagram because it's not updated. But if I love to talk to people one on one, I love to get to know people. So please hit me up. Let's see if we can work together. If I can help you. If you want training and coaching on PR, on visibility from within, really getting down to the roots of hiding and the fear of exposure. My business is rooted in mindfulness and all of the things that really make us go, and not just media placements. Media placement is the icing on the cake, but the real work is being done in the kitchen behind the scenes. So
Come on.
yeah.
In the kitchen. You know what? I seen your daughter in the kitchen, girl. She be just going at it. Okay. Okay. How is
Yes.
that? I was, because you said the kitchen and then I automatically thought about your daughter
Yeah,
because
she
she
was
be in
tearing
that
those
kitchen, girl.
noodles up,
She be
girl.
tearing it up. Like, who, child?
Lord, this
So
little
how is
baby.
that? How is that in raising a daughter and really full time coming in here creating a space for women? Like, how's that journey been for you?
My daughter is the best thing that has ever happened to me.
I
And
love it.
everything that you see me do from here on out since November 16, 2021, when I gave birth to her, is with her in mind, is with her development in mind, with her beauty in mind, with her soul and spirit. She's so sweet.
Oh,
And she really just opened my eyes to the magic of women, the magic of birth and life and body and connection and humans. And I mean, she truly woke me up. I actually had a home birth. And so
oh
yeah,
my God!
yes,
Wow.
yeah, I had a home birth, and so it was the most transformative, real, surreal, hardest thing that I have ever done in my life. And um, it's something to be said about giving birth. It's, pregnancy is one thing, and then birth is an event in and of itself. And so we have to make sure that women understand their options, understand the powers that they have internally, intuitively,
Yes, that womb.
automatically,
Come on, that womb, baby.
automatically,
Woo!
automatic,
Manifestation right there.
you
Well,
know.
we gotta bring you back. Okay, now this is a whole. Okay, you just opened up another topic. What you just said about home birth in the womb, we're gonna have you back for another segment
Another
on season
episode.
2 when we upgrade. Okay, we putting it right there, like bam. What she says, powerful, baby. Y'all better know about that internal and that power in yourself.
Hmm.
And this podcast is not just about your mental health, it's about how the technology, how it runs with our mental health, how our brains are computers, and how we stay updated in our computer system. No, it's about how we transform our mental health? How do we advance ourselves in a fast-paced movement where there's meta, now there's the NFTs, there's like AI. There's so many things transitioning. So this space is really to create that visibility and what that looks like. And we talked about creating visibility for women in the media. Elevating visibility in the media is not an easy thing to do. So shout out to the women like yourself that is doing it and women across the globe. So you guys be sure to follow Gabrielle on all social media platforms, Gabrielle Pickens. So it will be in the group. Like so we have a group where we can go talk about the topics. It just started and we're doing a contest, a giveaway for people that share this podcast and people to interact. So if they listen to it, they screenshot your episode on how long you listen to it, and then we'll enter you into the contest to win our gift box that is worth over $500. So there's a lot of things you can take away from that box. Um, so I want you guys to get in tune with that giveaway. Follow Ms. Gabrielle and be sure to follow us. Hit that green button on Spotify to get notifications when we have episodes coming up. And be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. You know, the links are already there. You can find it. So, you guys, with that being said, we want you to be the change you wish to see and show up for yourself. And don't be afraid to let people know where you are and where you stand in your community, guys. So, with that being said, have a good one and get over the hump, baby, because you can do it. I got faith in you guys. Until we meet again, one love, y'all.